and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Hi, everybody. That third voice you heard was John. And, you know, he always sneaks in on us like that kind of thing. But we're going to have a concert, a John concert. Right. So everybody get ready. Right. You just have to be online to listen. And then you're going to want to know where the real concert's going to be. Because he is amazing. Aww. And, oh, no, we love John. We do. I'm threatening him within an inch of his life that he can't ever leave us, Angela.
Right, you're right.
Within an inch. That means if he tries to leave, the only thing that's left is an inch of his life. Uh-oh, he's laughing. He's not responding. He's not responding. You know, all my family ain't saved, John. I know how to put a contract out on a person. I do. Now, you didn't hear that, listeners. This is the pastor speaking. You didn't hear that. So how's everybody doing? Look at us. I'm glad to see everybody. Yeah. How are we, Angela?
Doing wonderful.
You look fab.
You as usual. Oh my God! The royal one. The royal one.
I'll take it. Nobody gives it to me at home, so I have to come here to get.
We know better.
I have to come home and I have to come here and get these.
We know better.
Awesome compliments. I appreciate you guys so much. John, you good?
I'm good. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that we're all here together today.
We're here. We're not melting.
We're not melting. It feels pretty good in the studio.
It does,
so
yeah.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the upcoming Global Women's Conference. Mm-hmm. Can you mention that for
Sure.
us? And then Angie's got something coming up as well.
Yeah. So we have a lot coming up with that, right?
We do. Yep.
So, yeah, I have it on the screen right now for people to check it out.
Good.
And so
it's September.
Yeah. So I have it September 24th.
Correct.
And that is going to be at the Foundation Center, which is 11633 Southwestern Avenue. That's in LA, 90047. Special guests, gifts, raffles, auction items. It's going to start registration 8:30 a.m. There's going to be a conference and lunch from 10 to 4.
It's going to be amazing.
And there's Reverend Dr. Murray.
Yeah.
There's going to be...
He's headlining it, yes.
Yeah. Denise Boutte.
That's a friend of our station,
Yes. Pastor LaRoya Jordan.
She?
Allison Felix. Chris.
Yeah.
Yes. Comfort. Chrisana. And then Jean Kim. Dr. Jay Casales. A lot of different people. They're all on the screen here for y'all to check
Please
out.
take a look. It's going to be a very good event, and we're going to have Dr. Asumunga here in about 2 weeks to actually tell us all about what's going on there. So,
Dr. Lillian.
Yes, she'll be in the house, and she's also a very good friend of our radio station. So we'll be glad to have her, and we like to support our friends. So if you have something coming up and you'd like us to advertise it for you, just, let us know. Hit us up on Facebook. Hit us up here at the radio show, and we'll get it out there for you. Yeah. So, Angela, what's going on?
Thank you so much, LaRoya. We're doing our monthly discussion on grief. It's called The Empty Chair. This month we're talking about honoring your feelings. It all starts on Monday, August 15th at 6 o'clock p.m., and that's at the Afiba Center right there in Los Angeles at 5730 Crenshaw Boulevard. That's 6 o'clock p.m. The following Monday, we have something that's called Accountability Partnering, and it's actually called Stay on the Path. LaRoya, how are you doing with your New Year's resolutions?
They're done. Overdone.
Yeah, that's what's happening with most of the people. So we have like 3 months left in the year, and
my gosh.
3 months, 3.5 months left in the year, and let's just go ahead and stay accountable, and get back to those New Year's resolutions goals or whatever they are, and that's what Stay on the Path is all about. So if you will check me out on Facebook at Caregivers Need Care Too, you will find out more about the empty chair and about Stay on the Path.
And newbeginningstoday.com will have it as well?
Newbeginningstoday.com, yes.
Right.
Thank you so much, John.
Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah. This is good. People don't know that they're grieving.
Right.
Good. I hope you guys will check that out on Monday. Again, John's putting it up in case anybody's watching out there and needs more information. Very good. How about those Olympics?
Oh, yay!
I'll tell you about
The
that
what?
inside joke. I know. It's an inside joke, but I'll tell you guys about it later. Listen to me. The Olympics has been absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Now, I don't get into fencing and not a lot of volleyball, or I did watch tennis. When the Williams sisters were there, but my favorite forever has always been gymnastics.
Yes. Yes.
And then of course number 2 is track.
yes.
So I'll tell you guys this little story. So, do you remember when the Olympics were here in '84? The Olympics were here in '84, and it was the same year I got married. And one of the doctors that I worked for said, I can't make it to one of the events. Would you and your fiance like to go? And I said, well, which one is it? Yeah, right. He said, oh, it's just track and field. So I'm sure that's one of the other reasons Ralph married me, because I was able to get those kind of connections. But from then on, every 4 years was just really special.
Right.
This year, it's extremely special because just the other night, the first African-American female won in a swimming competition.
Yes.
And I watched it.
Yes.
And when her and Canada's hand hit at the same time, I was like, are they going to make them swim again?
Right.
But they didn't. They gave them both gold medals.
Wonderful.
Wasn't that beautiful?
Yes.
And
yes.
she cried,
Yes.
and she gave all glory to God.
Yes.
And guess where she's from? Sugar something, Texas. Someplace, So you didn't even know they have swimming pools in Sugar, whatever, Texas. But I know you guys are laughing at me, but one of my dearest friends is from someplace in Mississippi, and I tell her it's a made-up city. And so, I can't think of the name of it. And she reminds me, she sends me names of people who came from there. And so, but what I'm saying is, and then think about this. Oh, Gabby, we will never forget you. Gabby, you are amazing.
Yes.
Gabby, you started this whole thing, girl.
Yes.
And you're keeping it going. And we have to give a shout out to this precious little girl. She's 4'8". I could put her in my purse. She's so tiny. But she's really doing amazing.
Would that be Simone?
I'm afraid it is. Somebody put on Facebook, they said it's a good day to be called Simone, because
Yes.
both of the girls are called Simone.
Yes. Yes.
The swimmer and the gymnast.
Yes.
So it's been interesting, and I know, when we think about as far back, and I know some people don't go historically when they do Olympics, but the Olympics actually started with Hitler. Does everybody know
Yes,
that?
yes.
And he's the one that actually started the torch
Yes.
lighting.
Yes.
I would have changed it probably by now.
No,
But anyway,
they need to extinguish that torch
yeah,
thing.
I know it. I'm with you. But this is what they've done, and they've kept it going that way. And at the time when African Americans were running, he wouldn't even touch their hand. He wouldn't even shake their hand.
But LaRoya, during that same time, that's when Jesse Owens
That's the
participated
one,
and
yeah.
and won all the gold medals and did
He
all
did.
things in spite of Hitler.
Yes.
Yes. Amazing.
And it was amazing because he, I've read where he said later, well, I couldn't let him think that affected me.
Right.
Because it didn't change who I was.
Right.
And, the running. So when we think about it, we don't know what those Olympians are going through when they're over there.
That's true.
We have no idea.
Right.
And so we have to really keep, praying for them and asking for protection, because there's just too much going on all over the place.
Yes.
And
yes.
so, but we're pretty, I think America's winning. Can anybody check and see if America's winning? No, America is winning.
This morning we had more medals.
Yeah,
I
we are winning.
I haven't looked.
We
know
are
you,
winning.
We know you know, LaRoya.
We are winning. And
More
I'm
gold
enjoying it because everybody who's listening to this and us in this station here, we know that for the last several weeks there's been such a different kind of focus.
Yes. Yes.
And one that, you can walk into a grocery store and you don't know whether to say hello or keep walking.
Right.
Because of the tension,
Right,
Right.
right.
And when you come to the Olympics, everybody can talk about it. You
And
know,
speaking of that, we have United States at 43 medals.
oh, I love it.
China at 36, Great Britain at 21, Japan at 24, South Korea at 13, Germany at 11, Russia at 22,
Awesome.
Australia 18, France at 16, and Hungary at 7, and U.S. has 16 gold medals so far.
Yeah, wonderful,
Okay.
wonderful. Thank
So
you,
there you
John.
go, a little update from the non-Olympic
Yeah,
participant.
right. So he can garner his position back in my life. I love you, John.
Love you too.
Well, you know what? Our guest is here. She's on the
Wonderful.
line, and we're just really glad that we can grab her.
Yeah.
She is so, let me just tell our listeners, you don't really realize how blessed you are that we have Sister Jenna here with us today. She's a renowned speaker and founder of the Meditation Museum in Silver Springs, Maryland, and McLean, Virginia, and the host of the very popular and globally broadcasted America Meditating radio show. She was selected by Empowered, listen to this, 1 Billion Women 2020. And I'm one of those, as one of the 100 most influential leaders of 2015.
Oh, my.
And served as a partner, and I was part of that too, with the Oprah Winfrey Network and Values Partnership on the Oprah Winfrey Belief Team, a community of individuals from diverse spiritual, cultural, and faith backgrounds. Her mission is to decode critical current issues and offer a perspective for folks to find clarity, power, and insight. Despite the many life challenges that we face on a global scale, Sister Jenna has an uncanny ability to connect us back to where our problems originated and shift our awareness toward the solutions. Her voice of influence is particularly needed in the wake of tragedy and increasing violence in our world. Will you please welcome with us Sister Jenna?
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
Hi.
We
Great,
got to
great.
corral you. We're so glad.
I'm so glad to be here with you, and I'm kind of sad because I'm leaving California tomorrow, and I've been enjoying every bit of it on this trip.
You love our weather, or you just been that busy?
I love the people, I love the weather, I love the water, I love the time.
Yeah. See, that just means, this is not the first time you've told me that. That just means we have to find you a real place on this side. So when you come, you can just slip on in,
Yes.
hang out,
Yes.
and just be there. Absolutely.
Sign me up.
Okay, all right. You know we're live, but we also archive, so that means I got your word on it.
You know what? My word has power. I
Yes,
hope you can
yes, it
amplify
does.
That one.
Very good. So tell us what you think about what's going on in our world right now, Sister Jenna. Help us out.
I think we are at a great point. I think that we are being triggered and signaled to check our own capacity and to check ourselves and to feel if we're true and if we're noble and if we're right. I think that the Olympics that you were talking about, I know it's filled with so much competition. It's become a big political card. It's become also a game of friendship. It's also uniting us, but it also could be dividing us again. At the end of the day, it's about what an individual thinks and feels about themselves that decides their interpretation of life. And that's what we're seeing in the world. We're seeing a lot of interpretations right now.
So when we think, when you say true and noble, when we're asking ourselves, are we? I'm talking about individually and even collectively. How do we know that we're being true to whatever the situation is, or even true to ourselves?
Oh, great. I was just sitting around the table, and everyone was very fundamentally believing in their Islamic faith, and I appreciated it and honored it.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes.
I love these people, by the way.
Amen.
And they were all telling me, well, the religion really is Islam. And I said, that's good. And keep that going. But just remember that also higher than your name of your religion is your conscience. And if your religion is giving sorrow to another person, then you're not living true to your religion, whatever that is.
Right.
So To answer your question, I think that when I'm true and I'm sitting in perhaps a very charged circle of friends or circle of people I don't know yet, and they're talking about something that seems to be separating me from them, and subtly their vibration is hierarchical, that they're better than the rest.
Yeah.
My true sense was sitting there going, but we're all God's children, and I'm okay with your interpretation right now. And I had to be in a non-judgmental state, everyone. Like, I had to check if I was judging.
Okay.
And if I was criticizing. And if I wasn't, then I was true. Noble, the way I hold my dignity and respect in the face of adversity.
Wow. Can you run for president?
I'm
not kidding.
Hey, if I was president for a day, you would all be meditating. You'd be getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Got it. That's all right. If it would be changing lives and, making things work for the best, for the good of the whole. Are you kidding?
Oh, my God. Speaking about presidency, last night we held one of the most beautiful Meditate the Vote sessions.
Wow.
We had Meditate the Vote by the Sea last night, and we had a lot of evolutionary thinkers, authors, leaders, a princess from one of the Middle Eastern countries who hosted us at her home in Santa Monica. And it was so rich. And in this room were people who didn't even know each other, everyone.
Right.
And by the time we were done meditating the vote, everyone left realizing, oh, so this is what this is about. It's creating friendship. It's creating inclusivity. It's creating oneness. I go, there you go. You got it.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, how long did it take them to get that? I mean, was this an all-day thing or just in the evening?
It was about maybe four. We were together for about 4 hours. However, I think it happened the moment they entered the room because I was organizing it, and the intention was of unity and goodness and evolving in consciousness. So based on your intentions, when you're doing something, the vibrations of your intentions also spreads like a ripple effect towards whomever you're about to impact.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, some of our listeners, I mean, they see it on our Facebook pages. They don't know how Meditate the Vote was conceived and who was involved with this initiative.
Yeah, well, I was in India, everyone, and the first thing I was asked in February, I was on the mountaintop, thousands of my friends from 110 countries, and the first question they asked me was, is Donald Trump going to be the next president? And I was like, I don't get a hello, a Om Shanti, how are you, how was your year, did anybody beat you up? I didn't get any of that.
Right.
How interesting. Wow. Can I actually sit back now after this? It's serious.
Yeah.
This is an important time. The whole world was there with me. And the whole world was concerned because it's not accustomed to American politics being so below the belt.
Absolutely not.
It's something new for them.
Right.
And we are looked upon.
And for us, too.
It
really?
is. And we, the American people, are looked upon as the father of the world or the mother of the world. We're supposed to take care of everyone.
Right.
So when we're beginning to look like, well, I don't care. Kick out whomever you want to kick out. This is about us. It raises a lot of flags.
Sure.
And so that's how it started, everyone. Then a group of us, I wrote an article for HuffPost, and then I came back, and a few leaders and I met, and we came up with Meditate the Vote. How can we not be swayed by the rhetoric that we hear, but ask ourselves the right questions and look at the things from two perspectives and then decide what's best for all.
Of course, we're on your page, but there's so much rhetoric going out and so many voices that are speaking to masses of people that don't even want to sit down and think. How do we reach them? What do we do? Because just, picking up your Facebook or picking up the news, you're looking at, you're saying, how can people really follow this kind of regiment and not realize that it's not good for the whole? What should we do as listeners? Okay.
I think it's important for us to accept people wherever they're at.
Okay.
I think if you don't hear people, you're going to get a reaction. I think if you don't accept what someone else's experience is to them, you're going to get a reaction and you're not going to get trust.
Oh.
You're not going to breathe trust.
Okay,
You're
that
going
makes
to breathe
sense.
inclusivity.
Mhm.
And what's happening now is we are being called to genuinely and truthfully listen, to be heard.
Yeah.
And we are witnessing what negative energy feels like,
Oh, yeah.
but we're also being called to raise our empathy. And
Mhm.
empathy as a word just came into the dictionary in the 19th century.
Mhm.
Before it was sympathy. So sympathy is like maybe what the world is doing to America right now. They're like,
Absolutely.
oh, poor people.
I know
You know?
it. I'm telling you, yes.
But when you empathize with us as a nation, you are sort of participating in what we're going through, knowing that perhaps your country went through that similar. And what did you do to get out of it?
Okay.
Or what pure vibrations are you sending to America to help the American people to say, how can we change this conversation and collaborate more than separate?
Mhm. Oh, that's good. I know I'm harping a little bit on it because I get into these conversations is, what's the best way to close out that kind of situation? I'm telling you, it's volatile, here in America, from New York to California, from Mexico to, the end of upwards of Canada. It's it's becoming extremely divisive, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and I have young daughters, and they're all voting age now. And, I mean, to see them sit around with their friends and having conversations, they weren't the conversations that I had when I first voted. We were so glad to vote. We just were running to the polls.
Right.
Now they're
Right.
sitting down saying, but wait a minute. Did you know
Right.
this
Right.
happened and that? I'm like, oh, no.
Right. Right.
No, you guys can't think like that. Let's just
Right. Right.
make it happen. Right. So, I mean, and again, they were all raised knowing, right from wrong, whatever that means. And
Right.
they're knowing that they have a responsibility.
Right. 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 Isn't it amazing though? Like every time we encounter a period in our lives, and just take it personally, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
When you've reached a crossroads where it doesn't make sense what you're going through, and even your power to decide, both of your options aren't the best options that you would like.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to, shuffle the deck all over again, you'd like completely a different deck of cards.
Right. Right.
And so, even as a country and a nation, it is at this point where we're trying to reshuffle the deck, but we're still coming up with the same options.
I know.
And what Meditate the Vote has been doing is encouraging Americans to accept the fact that you are the empowerment. Despite who goes into office, it's not about being a Republican anymore. It's not about Democrat. It's not about Hillary Clinton. It's not about Donald Trump. But are you willing to empower yourselves
Right.
so that you cannot be swayed, so that you cannot be disillusioned, so that you cannot be taken advantage of? And so until we get to that position of inner empowerment, which you can only get to if you listen to your conscience, listen to what you're feeling,
Right.
and listen if what the person is telling you is valuable enough, because it's their experience. Everyone's experience, everybody, is sacred to them.
Yes.
So who am I to say what you're talking is rubbish?
Right.
I mean, for Donald Trump, that's sacred. Where he's
Yeah.
at, whether he's playing the game with the American people and the public or not,
Mm-hmm.
for him at this moment, it's sacred. So my question is, how do I hold that? How do I actually deal with that? Because every time you don't accept what he says, he reacts, right?
Every time.
Every time. And so, is it that he needs to hear something? Is it that he needs a response? What is it?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we need to bring this ability of wisdom and silence and divinity and good wishes, so that he and everyone else who is in a disempowered state can feel moved and transformed.
Okay. How do we get him in a room?
By having radio shows like yours,
That's
LaRoya.
right, absolutely.
I mean, come on. Why are you on the
Absolutely.
air? You're on the air because you're making a massive difference in your conversation.
And we're really believing for that, because there are some people who are listening to you to make a decision, listening to us to make a decision, and the key is we want them to make a decision that's good for the whole. So here comes my next question. If you were to sit down with the present presidential candidates, Donald Trump and Hillary, what would you say to them? What would you tell them?
I think I was asked that question before. I would ask them if we had launched a new version of the national anthem and we had images connected to it. And so I would play that song and I would look at them in the eye,
Wow.
knowing that behind their eyes are their souls, and that
Yeah.
the soul is sitting behind the eye. And if I can meet you soul to soul, I might be able to trigger in you your authentic self. And then the second question, or maybe the question that I would ask them is, do you feel worthy to hold this position?
Wow. That's key.
Yeah. Do you feel worthy?
But and for us, we know what worthy is. Do you think that they would give a different response as to what they felt worthy is? Meaning Donald, Hillary, man, woman, I don't know.
I can't say because they have their worthiness in their own departments. Donald Trump is worthy of building buildings. Hillary Clinton is worthy of knowing policies and guidelines and rules.
Exactly, right.
So, but now my question of their worthiness was more connected to, are you worthy to exemplify that you really are a child of God? And that's what I mean by asking people, are you worthy?
Okay.
Do your thoughts, do your words, do your behavior, does your attitude symbolize God's divinity and God's peace and purity?
Boy, that would be that would be a little difficult, but okay. Wow, yeah, you taking it there, Sister Jenna. You going for the juggler?
And juggle it is.
Amen. You went for the juggler. So very good. So, as a nation, and there's a divide. What do they call them, John? The millenniums, and then, I don't know, what's the next group, age-wise? The old people.
Xers.
Yeah, the Xers, and that. There's so many different thought processes, and I think that's why candidates spend so much money and time in different places. But how do we reach the people in our own sphere? And I know, we have to, honor what they say, and we have to, let people get it out. And, I know with Meditate the Vote, I have these little meetings, at my house with different people, from church people to my children's age group. Some of them are early teens, and then I have those that are teaching in school working on their masters. So there's a different dynamic all the time. And so I try to meditate the vote when I'm in the room with them. I try to say, oh, that's a good point, but have you thought about this point? And we're kind of going back and forth a little bit. And so I would love to, because I'm going to keep doing it until November, I would love to empower them, like you said, because that was a good point.
Right.
I don't think I've done that as well as I could, or as well as I would like to, empower them, because I don't want them voting my vote if that's not how they feel. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I told my children, I said, my vote is really over. I voted for who I needed to help get you guys to this point. Now you must, even though I'm voting, of course, but you must vote now for what's coming up in the future. We're talking about the justices of the peace and the Senate and all. You must vote for that, because those are laws that'll be changing, and they're going to be changing for better or for worse. And I'm thinking about, I know that the world doesn't look at it like this, but you have to think as an African American, because that's not going to change. And you have to think as a female, because that's not going to change. Help me out, Sister Jenna. I'm making them listen to this too, so they're going to hold me to it.
They will. It's hard because we're still working on ourselves too. I mean, again, I go back to the conversation at the table that I was just at before this interview pursued. I had, this meeting, and I was catching myself. Here were a group of individuals that belong to a particular faith who are very, very invested in their faith. And then they had reached a point of intellectualizing their faith and their ideas and why they believe in their religion. And then they would ask me, what do you think? Well, what do you, I go, I can't answer you. I'm not going to engage in an intellectual debate. I can only speak from my heart. And I
that's
believe
good.
that if I have to only tell you what I read in a text to be true, I don't think I'm being truthful. So I just paused and I said, I can't, I'm just an observer right now. Please accept that. I just don't have anything to say.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think it gets back to this place, everyone, to be so honest with you and to trust that your honesty is enough for you, and that's your form of perfection.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Juggle,
that's good.
juggle, the juggler.
You're right. You keep going for it.
Yeah, because we have to. We
Yeah.
have to, everyone. I think that we've been marketed enough. We've been brainwashed enough.
Yes.
We've been influenced enough, swayed enough. Watching a great movie, all of a sudden the pizza commercial comes on. Hey,
Exactly.
Mary, go order some pizza.
Right.
You didn't want the pizza in the first place.
Right.
So we have to reach a point where we're solid within our own beings because we're beginning to listen, to be heard. We want to hear what we are saying to ourselves so that we can make the right choices.
And that's another point. There's so much chatter, and there's so many distractions. And so all I'm trying to do is keep them focused. And I believe that meditate the vote is what's going to help us really get what we need to get by November. What are your thoughts?
I'm hoping that it will charge the mental space of our citizens and of the world. I'm hoping that Meditate the Vote will help us to be more empathetic. And as a result of our empathy, we will be more engaging and not just sit back and go, well, I don't want to vote for any of these people.
Right.
You have to vote. You
Right.
have to go out and make a conscientious choice that you think might be the best option for now. And that's where when you're reflective, when you're introspective, and when you're listening to your own thoughts and your own conscience, it will automatically make you make a decision that is most appropriate at that time.
Right. I know that you're really working very, very hard behind the scenes for especially this political year and with this climate like it is. But what would you suggest to help us? And you've kind of hit on it, but what would you suggest to help us as a nation evolve our consciousness?
That's such a beautiful question. I think I would continue with what I have shared in our conversation today. I would listen to what I'm thinking. And if my thoughts are beneficial for all, then start to develop your trust factor there. You see, when you can trust your own thoughts, it means that you think that these thoughts might be leading towards an expansion of your comfort zone. When our comfort zones are being challenged, then the fear increases. But if you can go beyond what you're accustomed to and what you're familiar with. If I wasn't on a spiritual journey, everyone, I could not sit at a table with fundamental thinkers and love them as if they were my own. And so I've expanded my comfort zone. And even though I can't get into intellectual debate, I knew that if they were willing to talk to me from the heart level, then you got me there.
Right.
And that's just where you are, and that's cool, okay? So I would definitely urge individuals to be more in that place of listening and checking that your thoughts connect to a benefit that's for everyone. And you might go, that's impossible. No, it's not. It is possible for you to have pure feelings and good wishes for everyone.
Yeah.
It is not possible for you to feed food to everyone. But it is possible for you to send good wishes and pure feelings to everyone. The second thing, or the third thing, and it's important.
Yeah.
It is important for you to have the thought that I wish for everyone to be benefited, especially the ones that hurt you, especially the ones that are ignorant, and especially the ones that don't do what you want them to do to keep you where you're at.
Right.
So when you can wish someone to be benefited, check how that feels when the man who cheated on you, or your wife who betrayed you, or your child who didn't turn out the way they wanted to, or your job let you go without any notice, or someone stole money, or you lost money from an investment. And you can emerge that spirit or that person in your mind and go, I wish you to be benefited. Then you're okay.
Wow.
America will rise.
Wow. Wow. That's like, huh? And even though I feel the exact same way, because I don't want to wish, and I wouldn't. That's not even my spirit or my thought process, to wish anything negative on anybody. I just don't do it. I may say, wow, why'd they do that to me? I may do that, but I never thought of it as wishing for everyone to benefit. I never thought about it like that. I do wish people well. Even the Bible is very clear about praying for our enemies and blessing those who despitefully use us. But, in this day and time, Sister Jenna, sometimes it's hard to know who your enemy is.
Well, your enemy are the 5 vices: anger, lust, greed, attachment, and ego, algae. That's your enemy. It's not outside of you. If that level of consciousness or vibrations, if that's swimming in your thoughts and in your feelings, your enemy's living in you.
Wow.
And you will attract other enemies who have that vibration. And both of you will either have a party or a duel. And so until I can clean out my inner world of these 5 vices, which are my enemy of the spirit, it's the enemy of the spirit, and I start to replace those 5 vices with my eternal, original, pure, divine qualities. Well, I would say that I've conquered my enemy, or at least I'm conquering my enemy.
Okay, say those again. You said anger, lust.
Anger, A for anger.
Yes.
L for lust. G for greed. A for attachment, and E for ego. Acronym I use, ALGE for short.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Your
Yes,
enemy.
and each one of us has that from
That's
time
the
to
enemy
time.
of everyone.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is not about RNC or DNC. This is about everyone. Everyone's got a problem.
That was
Please.
good.
Everyone's got a problem. So let's clean our acts up. We're going to reach a point, everyone, that we can't even point our fingers and blame anyone anymore until we start to hear our own conscience or mind laughing at ourselves, going, "What are you thinking? You just blew up yesterday to that little girl down the street who put her candy on your lap." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
it's
great.
really the point.
Absolutely, though. But you're right. Because, we're too busy thinking about what's going on the outside, and we're forgetting that the major inference should be on what's going on the inside of us individually.
Yeah.
And so
that's what we're being forced to do. We're
Right.
being forced to turn inwards.
we are definitely being forced to do that right now. Let's talk a little bit more about Meditate the Vote. And I know your impact, you want it to spread across, and it's been doing quite well, has it not?
It is. It's amazing. It's done like over 12 events since May.
Oh.
We've had countless radio interviews, print interviews. The lives that have been changed have been, we haven't been able to collect that data. It's too many.
Wow,
I think
good.
what I would invite everyone to do is to, give us a video that by saying, I meditate the vote because,
Okay.
one. Secondly, answer one of the meditate the vote core questions, such as, what do you value the most about America? Nina from Life Bites posted something really beautiful on her Facebook this morning, and she was at the dinner last night, and she asked, what do you value about America? And so I want to hear your answers. Are you powerful enough to affect change? I want to hear your answers. Are you worthy? I want to hear your answers. Do you create inclusivity in your narratives or in your presence? I want to hear your answer. And by us being able to see on social media this kind of a conversation going on, I think it can help us to change the way we see ourselves and each other. So that's one thing, everyone. So on Facebook or Twitter, just go to Meditate the Vote and just use the hashtag Meditate the Vote. And by looking at the hashtag, you get a chance to see the enormous work that's happened so far around the country.
That's good.
Yeah. So we just need you to, I don't want to say I need you to. If you're struggling in a relationship that's not serving you, if you are in a dead-end job, if you are blaming someone for the way that your life has turned out, if you're scared, if you feel like a victim or hopeless, then I would suggest that you go to Meditate the Vote and start a conversation that could perhaps help you to overcome those limitations of spirit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
they'll be part of a community.
it's a community.
Okay, yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah. And we have buttons for sale and wristbands for sale. So if you go to americameditating.org website, on our shop page, you've got buttons, wristbands, and stuff there that you could wear and put on. Everywhere I go, I have my Meditate the Vote button. And I especially love to walk through TSA and have them pat me down and watch his face or her face, go, meditate the vote. And then they forget to pat me down and start to look at the button.
Right.
And I'm like, man, this is some good security right
there
here.
You go. There you go. Oh, that's great. That's good. So we just have a few minutes left, but
I think you have the national anthem on your site, right?
We do. We have this beautiful rendition of the national anthem.
Do you want to play it?
Composed by Kristen Hoffman.
Can we play it right now?
Oh, please do.
Okay,
Please
good.
do.
John's going to set that up.
Oh, and let me share the story about that anthem.
Oh, good.
First, Kristen didn't want to sing it because she says, I'm in a place that I can't necessarily say I value the country right now. And she had to go into meditation. And when she went into meditation, everyone, when you hear this anthem, you're going to start crying. Now, I have some of my evolutionary thinkers. They're like, couldn't you have chosen America the Beautiful? I go, listen to me, that speaks to us. I need to get some folks who be liking some Donald Trump.
There
I
you
need
go.
them to hear this, right?
Right, got you.
So what I'm saying is like, come on, sometimes we keep speaking to our same audience and they're getting bored of us. And yet we keep talking about, I want a new audience. All right. So walk on the side of the new audience and hear their world and hear their lives and see what that feels for you, and then see if you can transform the spirit of it. So Kristen Hoffman did a great job on the national anthem, and that's your gift.
Well, we're going to listen.
Thank
Go ahead,
you.
John.
All right.
All righty.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we at the twilight's
I pledge
last
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
broad stripes and bright stars through the
A huge cheer, then singing as the decision reaches the crowd out front.
You have no clue what the hell it feels like to be black in this country. We watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets
Pope Francis was known for reaching out to marginalized communities.
bursting in air gave proof through the night.
So what do you think of a Muslim and a Jewish guy walking together?
I think it's great.
It's great?
I think we get along. It's great.
Oh, say does that star
Well, this is a perfect opportunity for you to try some active listening.
yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Yeah. I was playing it
that-
directly from the site, so apparently there's some video clips that play in between the song.
That was a video version, everyone who heard that, and I would recommend you go to Meditate the Vote and be able to listen and watch the video. It's amazing. And I could also send you just the audio version if you need to.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, yeah.
As well.
Do that, please. That, that gets you thinking.
But even when we just listen to it, we can hear what's going on in the background and we can visualize it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. That was so good. Very, very good.
I always love joining you guys on the air. Thank you so much.
Are you kidding? We love
including
having
me.
you. Oh, no. You are life-changing. That's what makes it so awesome and amazing that, everything you say is so poignant and everything you say is so unselfishly spoken. And, we hear your heart. We don't get a word in edgewise. When you start talking, we're kind of hanging on to the mic because we want to hear what you're saying. We truly, and I know we love you, so that, goes without saying. We really appreciate you. And Antonio, again, she came through like the champ that she is. I really appreciate her in your life because she really helped us out today. But we're thankful. We're glad that you're here. We know that you're leaving tomorrow. But when are you back? When are you back our way?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's see who's going to emerge and say, please come back
Got
soon.
it.
I have no idea, but I'm open.
Good. We're going to keep that in our prayers for sure.
Thank you.
Well, we
I
thank
love you all.
We love you too. We thank you so much. Safe travels as you, head back east. And you and I will definitely be in touch.
Thanks for having me in.
Thank you,
Jenna.
Thank you so much.
you.
Okay, darling, we love you. Great show. She's amazing.
Yeah.